Okay, so welcome back from the break. You're still watching Morning Rush here on Metro Television. My name is Desmond Okwekudan. So just going back with sports with Nanaya and also Agrohine. Now we're going to talk about something. The conversation already started this one I'll be joined by two ladies. We'll be talking about women's representation in leadership. And, the percentage in Ghana in local government stands below 5%, and that is below the African Union's 40% and the United Nations 30% minimum threshold for ensuring a woman's effective representation. And this morning, we are talking about how we can wave up that interest in women and also encourage that they get into the space, and also for the men or for society to also welcome women into that space. And I've got Maulawe. I would see. Correct?
Yes.
The way I practiced that thing in my mind. I did it, yeah. So she is here with me, and also Christabel Nachocho Lami. They are from ABANTU, right?
Yeah.
ABANTU.
Yes.
Great. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We'll get to the other one we're talking about. Okay. but really, generally, I mean, I've given the statistics. You are on the ground, so you get to interact with people, stakeholders in that space. What really do you think? Let me start with you, Maulawe. What's your general assessment of women's participation in leadership, in governance? For you, how is it?
I think generally a lot of women want to go into governance. A lot of women want to be leaders. I mean, now, especially for the young people, a lot of women are coming up with the desire to want to be in leadership, to want to be in governance. But then there are certain systemic structures that prevent women from going into that space. And it's not just a matter of, oh, yes, you can be a leader. There are patriarchal systems that women need to fight against in order to be in leadership. There are women who are leaders, but their leadership is subscribed to the fact that maybe a man helped them to get over them. It's not by their knowledge, oh, this girl, she's pretty, as it were. Okay. That is why she's in that position. But there are really women out there like myself who have empowered themselves to be able to be in certain roles. So basically, when you go out there and you speak to women, they want to be there. But there are systems that are fighting against them. There's a system of, look, this meeting is at 7 o'clock. I'm a mother with 2 children. You know the time I had to wake up to get here?
Okay.
I had to wake up I left my home at 5:30.
But that's a system created by who?
I'm coming.
Okay.
I left my home at 5:30 to be here.
To be here.
I have to think about my children. Where do I place my children in order to be here at this meeting? Okay. When a man gets up in the morning at 5:30, he knows there's a woman who is going to do all of that. He just wakes up, oh dear, I'm going to do that. But the woman has to second guess a lot of time to think about, where am I going to keep the children? What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? The kids have to eat. It's just a culture in a certain way. That sort of, in a way, puts women in the back in a certain way. So you have to think about all these things. A man doesn't have to think about that. But like I said, I made sure to leave home at 5:30 in order to beat traffic to be here and find a way so that my kids are well catered for. If I didn't have that system, I could have called and said, oh, I cannot be at the meeting because I have to ensure that my children are well catered for. But a man does not easily have to decline because he knows a woman is supposed to do that. Okay. So there are many things women have to take into consideration when they want to enter into leadership. And sometimes the system fights against them. I have people who sometimes when they close late from work as women, people begin to ask them, so who is taking care of your children? Why are you closing this late? As a woman, you shouldn't close this late. But you don't ask that of a man. Have you ever sat down with your boys and you've asked them, oh, why are you now closing? You don't really, it doesn't click.
Okay.
It doesn't really click for you. Like, boys are hanging out after work on Fridays. You don't really bother about some of these questions. But as women, we have to take into consideration the fact that how well are our children catered for whilst we are not here? How well are our husbands? Apart from the other things you have to face, even when you are in leadership, you are judged as a woman, not necessarily because of what you can do. Women have to work, have to put in 3 times, 4 times the effort when they are in leadership roles as compared to men. Because you don't want to hear the situation where they are saying, because you were a woman, that is why you took a certain decision. So then now women are being ascribed that, oh, these women are too hard. When they come into position, they are all over the place. But we forget that the kind of excuse you give for a man, you don't give that same excuse for a woman.
Okay. Christopher, let me bring you in and let's talk about why it is important for women to get into, governance, even at the district level, right to the very top.
Okay, so thank you very much. I'd like to say good morning to all your listeners and viewers out there. So with the question asked, it's actually serious because looking at the platforms in which Ghana has been on and the things they have signed on to attain this 30% or 40% leverage being given by the African Union, it looks like we are not working towards it. If women are brought on board, it will help eliminate poverty and some social issues in the country. So like social injustices. The fact that, you see, there's this saying that, oh, women are meant to be in the kitchen. No. If Yaa Santa was able to do it, why can't we all do it? And we have a lot of women out there who are gifted to be leaders, to be out there. So why don't you give us that space? So when we are given the opportunity to participate in these roles in this country, it will not only promote inclusion, it's going to reduce poverty, it's going to reduce some social injustices in the country. And this, when started, will also go down to sorting out or solving problems within our cultural values.
Okay. So if you just tuned in, we're having a conversation about women's participation in leadership from the very, the district level right to the very top. And of course, you can share your comments with us on 0553 000035. You just probably want to ask a few questions and also contribute to the program. So send that on our WhatsApp platform 0553 000035. Maulawe, yes, the name is right. Maulawe. How can we whip up the interest? We've talked about the challenges that women face. How can we get them to say that, irrespective of that I would want to be part of the governance system, I'd want to be part of leadership, even from the assembly level, the district level, through to maybe presidential, all of that?
Well, maybe the word is not whipping up of an interest because women already want to be there. We are the majority. I mean, the census is enough to let you know that women form the majority in the society. We are talking about an inclusive governance. We are talking about having participation. So if we are talking about inclusivity, if we are talking about participation, then we are talking also about women being there. I know that some parties, political parties, have actually reduced the fees for women to be able to pick up nomination forms to be part of it. But we know that that is not enough. We've been doing that for some time now, and we have still not achieved the figures that we are talking about. We still are below 20% across all our governance systems. Even when you go to the board levels, we still don't have equal representation of women. And when we are talking about gender equality, we're not just talking about representation of women, we're also talking about representation of men, fair representation of both genders. So we've done a lot of things in the past, like Chocho said, we have signed on to conventions, we have reduced fees. That has not worked. Women are interested. That is why we are actually been working towards passing the affirmative action bill, because that will be sort of a legislature that mandates government to ensure that there is a level of representation. We are not even talking about 50%. At least 40% representation, 30% representation of women at the district level, at the parliamentary level, at even the ministerial level. So it's not really a question of how do we whip up the interest. How do we create a system, an environment that makes it possible for women to thrive, for women to reach out there. Other countries have done it. So what is preventing Ghana from doing it, because we are talking about an inclusive government. We don't feel included when we are having 5% and 15% at that level. So really, it's about making sure that we have the legislature there that empowers women to be in those positions, that mandates political parties and government to ensure that some seats are secluded, are just left for women.
For women, okay. Great. Now, that brings me to my next question about the affirmative action and the bill itself, where it is now.
So, the bill.
No, what is it in the first? What is it in the first?
Pause to say the bill, because way before I was given birth to, this fight has already started. Okay, and then Nkrumah did his bit by putting up temporal measures to achieve this. Okay. Given 10 seats free for women. And you know, women have been contributing to leadership with limited resources back in history. So you want to know the affirmative bill action bill, sorry. It has to do with a mechanism that will readdress the discrimination aspect of gender, okay, when it comes to social and political areas in this country. And not just that, because the bill also looks forward to handling issues regarding culture. Okay. Okay. So when these mechanisms are being accepted, it's not like we are asking for 100%. No, we are asking for fairness in the representation of what? Women. So the bill, okay, started way back, I think 1988 or 1998, one of them, sorry. And then it came again in 2011. Where now CSOs and then other women group had to take it up. The draft started, it had back and forth issues with the ministry and then to parliament. But government promised way back in 2017 and then in 2020 to help with the passage. But what do we see? We'd like to also appreciate the Ministry of Gender and Children Protection for their efforts so far. But the question is, we were hoping that the bill be passed before 2023, and now we are in 2023. When we are about to have district elections, the bill has not been passed. What happens to our pledge or our promise with the African Union conventions that we have signed on?
So knowing this, what can be done to make sure that the bill is really pushed into law? Because as you said, it's been a very long time since this was talked about. If nothing is done about it for so many years to come, it will just be like that. What can be done to make sure that this passed quickly?
Okay, so with what can be done, I mean, lots of education has started actually, but even though it hasn't got to a higher reach, we are doing our possible best to get the education and sensitization go out there. We are also asking that men, especially our MPs in Parliament, when this bill is being put forward for deliberation, they should look into it and fight for us. Fight for it. I know they will say, campaign with plenty women, I mean, Obane, Bema, I mean, ABANTU. But we are asking that it's not just that, it's the inclusiveness that we are asking for. So a lot of education, sensitization in every aspect, various languages, and the involvement of men can also help in pushing this.
What are some of the countries, or which countries have been able to do this, put this affirmative action law that is, helping women get into leadership so that we can take cues from them?
We can look at Rwanda. I won't even go. We have seen Rwanda. They have about 61.25% of representation. Just look at Rwanda. I don't want to mention me. Just let's look at Rwanda. Look at the level of development in that country. I can't wait to visit Rwanda. And I think these things have been because of the increased representation of women across board. The government has been intentional. The word is being intentional about it. It's not, when we are talking about gender equality and gender equity, people think, oh, it's a fight. The women want to come and push over. No, we are talking about gender, and gender is not just men, it's not just women, it's men and women. We are talking about having representation. We are talking about inclusivity. And like I said, the word again is being intentional about making the right decisions that will move this nation forward. if there are two genders in a society, why should it be that all the time the other gender taking decisions more for the other gender? When we are saying that we are together in this. I mean, I remember when you said we are partners, but we don't feel like we are partners because you are the one taking decisions for us at all levels. But look at Rwanda. Look at it. And look at the level of gender, the gender parity index that is there now. There are lots of representation over there. I don't want to talk about the developed countries because I mean they have gone through a lot of things to be where they are. Yeah, but Rwanda has gone through a lot of challenges. But now we see the intentionality of the government to increase the representation of women across board.
Okay.
Our president is our gender ambassador. And he promised us when he was coming into power, one of the things was to pass this bill. We are in the second term. This is the instrument that we need because we've tried the other ones. It hasn't really been working for us because the kind of funds we are talking about, not a lot of women have access to those kind of funds. We're talking about 10,000, 50,000 just to pick up a form.
Yeah.
Then you have to now go across the country to get people to sign it. That is not. We didn't say we can't do it, but you have to look at the challenges and the things women have to take care of in order to be able to do that. The sacrifices women have had to make in order to be in leadership.
Okay.
So we need this instrument passed to empower us because women are ready. Women are capable. When you go to the schools, we see a lot of, we've done well with the send your girl child to school. I mean, that was a policy that we started that increased women's representation in terms of education. So if we've done well there, then we need to do well to pass this bill into a law to empower women. Then when we get there, you can tell us that we gave you the instruments and you didn't do it. But I don't think they'll even get the chance to even say that. Yeah.
Okay. We've got a few minutes to wrap it all up. What are your expectations both of you for the 2023 district assembly elections, and your final words to people watching out there, talking about getting women involved in leadership?
Okay, I think.
Okay,
so my expectations actually are that a lot of women will come up. I mean, involve themselves because in 2019 we have 909. Contestants, and out of it 226 women actually won, with a lot of men winning. So we are asking that this year, lots of women should come on board. I know there's going to be challenges. Some will talk of funding, some will talk of the competition in their society and cultural barriers, but together we can do this. So let's go out there and show that we are women and we can lead. Okay,
that's from Christopher.
My final thoughts.
Yeah.
Let's pass the bill into a law. Women out there, they said the sky is big enough for everybody. So we all want to be there. I encourage all women out there who want to go into leadership to stick their neck out and go there. And for us who are out here, we should support women who want to go into active politics, devoid of party colors. Let us push the women to be there. So women out there, I encourage all women out there who want to go into leadership to go into leadership. But to our parliamentarians, please let us pass the bill into a law so that we can be able to boast. We've signed on to these national conventions, but we cannot boast. It is time we boast. So women out there should go out and participate, pick up the forms and do the best that they can, rally as much as they can, and government pass the bill into a law.
Okay, so that is a call to government, pass the bill into law. Very, very important. Now. That's a spot now.
Now.
Thank you very much, ladies, for coming. Maulawe Awiti and also Christabel Nachochola, they are members of the Affirmative Action Bill Coalition, and they're calling for this. And this is put together by ABANTU for Development and African Women's Development. Fine, so that's a wrap up on the show. Before I go, I've got to do this birthday wish. Happy birthday to Mrs. Janet Afo-Ba-Techi. This is from Esther and Quentin. They say happy birthday to you, our dearest sister. May your bands be filled with plenty joy and overflowing blessings all year. We love you so much, and have a great one. And let me also remind you that Healthy Lifestyle is happening tomorrow at Aliso Hotel. It's a Metro TV and Aliso Hotel thing tomorrow morning. Come and let's work out. Let's burn the calories from the month. Yeah, so you catch myself, Nanaya, the whole team will be there. Auntie Sandra, Joe Zemu, he will also be walking and exercise. So join us tomorrow at Alisa Hotel early in the morning, and it is free from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's our wrap up the show for today. Many thanks for watching the Morning Rush all through the week. My name is Desmond Okrekodans. You can call me Desifadian, the Star Boy. I did this with Nanaya Tanobache. Up next is Good Morning Ghana with Dr. Randy Abbey. I'll be back with Good Morning Ghana Trent and 3 p.m. Entertainment Reviews. Stephanie Benson is coming in today. Big shout out to the production team. Have a great day. Bye-bye.